Be honest. Have you been feeling it lately? That restless undercurrent thrumming beneath the surface of ordinary moments, the subtle acceleration of everything familiar, conversations that feel hurried, nights that vanish in the blink of an eye, mornings that arrive before you have fully returned from your dreams. Something in the cadence of life itself seems to be quickening, as if reality is inhaling sharply before releasing a tidal wave of change. Some people shrug it off as stress, caffeine, or the endless glow of screens. But deep down, you know those explanations are too small, too ordinary, to match the magnitude of what your intuition is whispering. Something larger is at hand, something that doesn't fit neatly into the categories of workload, diet, or digital overload. You feel it when you wake just a moment before dawn, heart pounding for reasons you cannot name. You sense it in the sudden pull to look up at the sky for no practical reason at all. And if you have felt any of those things, however fleeting, then congratulations, you are already tuned to the first notes of a cosmic symphony preparing to play at full volume. We tend to imagine the universe as a distant theater, stars glittering like silent spectators, while we humans enact our small dramas on Earth's crowded stage. Yet what if the reverse is true? What if our personal storylines, our heartbreaks, breakthroughs, and late-night revelations are actually verses in a larger poem the cosmos is writing through us? Right now, that poem is entering a new stanza, and the punctuation mark that divides the previous line from the one about to appear is a rare set of alignments hovering just days away, a choreography so precise that even astronomers caution their language, shifting from the clinical to the poetic when they describe what is coming. Think of life as a grand waltz, predictable turns, familiar measures, a pattern you can anticipate after enough repetition. Then, suddenly, the orchestra pauses. No sound, no movement, just a heartbeat of silence so profound that it reveals how deafening ordinary life had been all along. In that silence, you intuitively straighten your posture. Something big will follow. Every cell in your body knows it. What does a pause mean in music? It heightens everything that comes next. Likewise, the cosmic stillness entering our calendar is not an absence, but a pregnant hush. It's the conductor's baton frozen in mid-air while every musician holds breath. Historically, sky watchers from Stonehenge to Chichen Itza built temples not merely to worship, but to witness these pauses and crescendos. They understood that where the heavens turned, kingdoms followed, floods, famines, revolutions, renaissances, all foreshadowed in the dialogue of planets and stars. Modern science may scoff at oracular astrology, yet even physicists concede that gravitational tides from the moon subtly stir Earth's crust, oceans, and, according to cutting-edge chronobiology, our own circadian rhythms. If moonlight can choreograph coral spawning across entire reefs, who is to say celestial timing does not choreograph the flowering of ideas in our collective mind? Our present waltz begins its pivotal pause on May 9th, when Mars and the Moon lock eyes across the velvet darkness. Mars, the cosmic emblem of raw assertion, whispers, "Act now, burn bright, carve your name into stone." The Moon, mirror of feeling, replies, "Not so fast, first taste the emotion behind every impulse." At that same instant, Venus glides toward Mercury. Venus invites connection, beauty, the merging of separate hearts. Mercury counters with analysis, precision, the need for reasoned dialogue. Picture two couples dancing in opposite styles on the same floor, one pair fiery and improvisational, the other elegant and methodical. Their orbits do not collide physically, yet they ripple across our psyches, setting the stage for internal debate. In practical terms, expect emotionally charged opportunities, a job offer that thrills and terrifies, a relationship moment that demands either vulnerability or retreat, an idea so electrifying you consider chucking your 5-year plan into the nearest recycling bin. That friction is not a cosmic prank, it's ignition fuel. Fire alone burns out, water alone stagnates. The universe knows transformation happens when element meets opposite element and something entirely new is forged. Then, silence. The calendar's next 48 hours become an empty manuscript page. No major aspects, no lunar theatrics, just a universal ellipsis inviting you to breathe. Think of it as the moment when a master potter stops spinning the wheel, allowing the clay to rest before shaping it again. The stillness is temporary, yet essential, because what follows will set those newly awakened impulses into firm, irrefutable form. Enter Saturn conjunct the Sun. This is the cosmic judge illuminating your hidden docket. Across mythologies, Saturn wears many masks. In Roman lore, the Golden Age king who taught agriculture and law. In medieval alchemy, the stern guardian of lead who must be transmuted into gold. In modern astronomy, a gas giant whose rings remind us that even gravitas can be breathtakingly beautiful. When Saturn and the Sun align, light shines straight through the ledger of your life. Debts come due, not just financial, but karmic, emotional, creative. Have you promised yourself to write that book, end that toxic friendship, forge that entrepreneurial venture? The cosmic accountant arrives with gentle yet uncompromising eyes. But here is the point so many fearmongers miss. Saturn is also the patron of harvests. If you planted seeds of courage months ago, this alignment will show green shoots breaking soil. If you invested in self-study, mentorship, or therapy, expect sharper insight and renewed stamina. Saturn does not punish, Saturn verifies. The universe isn't vindictive, it is symphonic, ensuring each instrument is tuned before the grand crescendo. And what a crescendo it will be. May 14th ushers in a trifecta so rarely synchronized it feels scripted by myth. A total lunar eclipse is when Earth's shadow veils the moon, dissolving her silver into a dusky rose. Ancient Persians believed such eclipses were heavenly councils deciding the fate of kings. Modern astronomers call it syzygy, a straight-line alignment of sun, earth, moon, perfect geometry, reminding us order hides beneath apparent chaos. Blood-red full moon, filtered through our atmosphere, sunlight bends and paints the eclipsed lunar surface with every sunset on Earth at once. Indigenous cultures from North America to Oceania saw red moons as portals when ancestor spirits wandered close, offering guidance to those who would listen in dreams. And Gamma meteor shower peak, high in the night sky, icy fragments left by ancient comets vaporize into luminous streaks, each a brief biography of a particle's journey from deep space to the pocket of our gravity well. In medieval Japan, meteors were traveling star letters, fortunes written in fire, delivering tidings from the gods. Stack these events, shadow, crimson light, cosmic signatures, and you get a rite of passage written across the sky. If the May 9th alignment struck flint and Saturn forged iron, then May 14th tempers the blade, heating, folding, and quenching until destiny's sword rings clear. But to truly grasp why this matters, we need to zoom out from dates and astronomy. Consider it through a more philosophical lens. The lunar eclipse externalizes Jung's concept of the shadow, the parts of ourselves we shrink from acknowledging. When the moon, symbol of the subconscious, disappears, those disowned qualities can emerge, not to haunt us, but to be seen, healed, and integrated. The reddened moon also mirrors the final stage of alchemy known as rubedo, where purified matter attains a rosy glow. It symbolizes the soul that has transmuted suffering into wisdom. Meteor showers serve as reminders that Earth is not a sealed terrarium, but a participant in galactic exchange. Each streak of light is a form of interplanetary dialogue, bridging the microcosm and the macrocosm. When viewed through that trifocal lens, May 14th becomes less about sky-gazing and more about self-gazing, world-gazing, and future-gazing all at once. And lest all of this sound lofty or abstract, we can anchor the energy into simple, everyday decisions. On May 9th, take a moment to reflect through journaling. Ask yourself, where am I impulsive? Where am I overly cautious? What could happen if I allowed the union of those opposites to create courage? Between May 10th and 11th, create a digital detox window. Use the cosmic pause to turn off notifications and listen to your own rhythm again. Even a 4-hour walk without your phone can bring clarity to weeks of confused planning. On May 12th, conduct an accountability inventory. List the promises you've made, whether spoken or silent. Which ones are ready to bloom? Which need pruning? And which should be replanted somewhere else? Finally, on May 14th, during the eclipse, perform a ritual. Write down one limiting story you constantly tell yourself. As the moon enters shadow, fold the paper. When the crimson light emerges, burn it safely and scatter the ashes. Let the meteor shower carry your released narrative into silence. These acts aren't superstition, they're kinesthetic metaphors. Ritual engages muscle memory, anchoring intention into neural pathways. Neuroscientists call it embodied cognition. Shamans just call it common sense. But be prepared, it's finally here. The weirdest night of your life is about to unfold. Today isn't just another celestial event, it's the activation of the full moon portal, a rare alignment that's shaking the very fabric of energy around you. Strange things have already started taking place. It's crucial for you to be aware of what will take place tonight. Pay attention. The smallest coincidences, the most random thought, or the flicker of a shadow in the corner of your eye could mean more than you think. This is not your regular night. And if you think this sounds intense, you haven't even heard what's yet to happen. Keep watching, because by the time this night is over, you may realize nothing will ever feel the same again. This is the night when your gut feeling isn't just a hunch. It's a direct line to universal wisdom. The energy of the full moon portal supercharges your intuition, making those fleeting thoughts and sudden knowing moments impossible to ignore. You might sense things before they happen, feel drawn to certain people or places, or experience uncanny clarity about decisions you've been wrestling with. Trust it. This isn't your imagination. Act on it. The choice you make tonight, no matter how small, could ripple out in ways you can't yet imagine. Ignore the doubts, the overthinking. This is your chance to tap into something bigger than yourself. What will you do with it? The number 13 has been misunderstood for centuries, villainized as unlucky, feared, and avoided. But tonight, under the glow of this full moon, it's time to rewrite the story. The truth? The number 13 is sacred. It's a symbol of rebirth, transformation, and spiritual evolution. Think about it. 12 represents completion, like the 12 months in a year. But 13? That's stepping beyond completion. It's about breaking through into something new, leaving the past behind, and daring to embrace the unknown. It's no coincidence that tonight's portal lands on the 13th of January. The energy of this number aligns perfectly with the transformative power of the full moon. This is the night to release what's been holding you back. Whether it's fear, self-doubt, or old habits, you are being called to let it go. 13 isn't an end. It's the beginning of your next chapter. When you stop fearing the unexpected and start embracing it, you step into a space of growth and possibility. Tonight's energy isn't just building, it's crescendoing. At the stroke of midnight, the full moon portal reaches its peak. This is the moment when the veil is at its thinnest, when the energy around you becomes almost tangible. If there's ever been a time to set an intent, it's now. Close your eyes, clear your mind, focus. What do you truly desire? Not the surface-level wants, but the deep, soul-driven dreams that make your heart race. Tonight's energy will amplify whatever you put into the universe. Midnight is the tipping point, where thoughts become reality and intentions gain momentum. Don't be surprised if you feel a shift. Maybe it's a rush of energy, a moment of clarity, or even an emotional release. This is the portal in action. If you're manifesting, trust in your process. If you're reflecting, let the insights come naturally. The question is, will you let this moment pass, or will you harness it? Midnight waits for no one. Be ready. The full moon portal doesn't just affect your spirit, it sends ripples through your entire being. Some of you might already be feeling it. That odd sense of dizziness, the slight detachment from reality, maybe even a sudden wave of fatigue or an unshakable sense that something big is shifting within you. These aren't random symptoms. They could be your body recalibrating to the heightened energy frequencies of the portal. Think of it like your system is downloading a higher vibration, adjusting to match the universe's amplified frequency. For those attuned to the spiritual, the body becomes a mirror of the cosmos. What happens above happens within. But don't let these sensations overwhelm you. Ground yourself by drinking water, taking deep breaths, and connecting with nature if you can. This will help you integrate the energy rather than resist it. And remember, not everyone feels these side effects, but if you do, it's a sign that you're deeply connected to the shifts happening right now. Take it as a reminder that you're part of something much bigger than yourself. Tonight, the full moon portal is more than an opportunity for personal growth. It's an opening to the unseen realms. Under this heightened energy, spiritual entities, both benevolent and challenging, are drawn closer to our world. For those of you sensitive to these shifts, this could manifest as a tingling sensation, sudden chills, or even the inexplicable feeling that someone is standing right behind you. If you feel a presence or have an experience tonight that seems out of the ordinary, lean into it. But let's be honest, not every entity comes with good intentions. While some may help guide you, others might challenge your emotional boundaries or stir up unresolved fears. This is not meant to frighten you, but to remind you of your own power. Encounters with these energies can be a test of your intuition and spiritual strength. If something feels off, trust that instinct and disengage. One way to stay grounded is through visualization. Picture yourself surrounded by a golden light, a shield that only allows love and truth to pass through. This simple act can help you set boundaries and create a safe space for any interaction. Also, pay close attention to your dreams tonight. The full moon's energy often spills over into the dream realm, allowing for profound insights or even encounters with spiritual guides. Keep a notebook nearby to jot down anything vivid or unusual. You might find that your dreams are filled with symbols or messages that hold meaning for your journey. And if nothing happens, that's okay too. Sometimes the greatest spiritual shifts occur quietly beneath the surface. As the full moon bathes the earth in its silvery light, something deep within you stirs. You may feel an unexpected wave of nostalgia, or perhaps an old wound reopens in your mind. Uninvited but insistent, memories you thought were long forgotten, ones you've avoided revisiting, are rising to the surface tonight. Why? Because the full moon portal is more than just a celestial event. It's a mirror reflecting the deepest parts of your soul that are ready for transformation. Your past doesn't haunt you to hurt you. It's here to heal you. This flood of emotions is no accident. The universe is nudging you to confront what's been buried, to face what still lingers in the shadows. Maybe it's a heartbreak you never fully processed, a decision you regret, or even a moment of joy you haven't allowed yourself to relive. These memories are surfacing not to punish you, but to offer you an opportunity, the chance to release, forgive, and grow. And here's the fascinating part. These moments from your past might feel vivid, almost alive, as if they're happening all over again. The portal's energy is thinning the boundary between then and now, allowing you to step back into those experiences with fresh eyes and an open heart. What lessons can you extract? What patterns can you finally break free from? But don't just let these memories wash over you passively. Tonight is about taking action. Write them down, speak them aloud, share them with someone you trust. Acknowledge what hurt you, what shaped you, and what still holds you. The act of naming these experiences is like unlocking a door. Once it's open, you can finally walk through it and leave the weight behind. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about setting yourself free. Even if the memories are painful, don't resist them. Pain is a teacher, and tonight, under the light of this powerful full moon, you're being handed a rare gift, the ability to transmute that pain into wisdom, understanding, and peace. And if the memories are joyous ones, let them remind you of your resilience, your capacity for love, and the beauty that has always existed within you, even in the hardest of times. So when the past comes knocking tonight, don't close the door. Welcome it in. Have the courage to sit with your story, no matter how messy or complicated it feels. Because these memories aren't here to haunt you. They're here to guide you into the next chapter of your life, lighter, clearer, and stronger than ever. If you feel like reality is slipping through your fingers tonight, almost like you're here but not quite anchored, don't panic. This is the energy of the full moon portal weaving its magic. Many are reporting the sensation of living in two realities at once, straddling the world you know and something beyond it. This isn't confusion, it's alignment with the unseen. The portal opens a rare connection between dimensions, giving you access to higher wisdom and insights from realms we don't usually perceive. This feeling of being pulled in two directions is your soul responding to the vibration of something greater. It's almost like your spirit is remembering its multi-dimensional nature, stepping beyond time and space for a moment. Notice how the boundaries of your thoughts seem to dissolve. You might catch glimpses of ideas or images that aren't yours, or at least don't feel like they are. Maybe you feel like your intuition is a radio tuned to a station broadcasting messages just for you. These messages could come in flashes of clarity, sudden shifts in perspective, or even strange, vivid daydreams. Pay close attention to what these moments are telling you. They're not random. The universe doesn't speak in accidents. If you feel compelled to write, draw, or even just sit in silence, honor that urge. The act of being present with this energy can help you decode what's being offered. You're not drifting, you're expanding. This is a rare opportunity to exist in both the seen and the unseen at the same time. And here's the thing, this dual experience isn't just a fleeting moment. It's a window into who you are becoming. The insights you gather now could guide your choices, your relationships, and even your purpose for weeks or years to come. If the pull between these two realities feels overwhelming, ground yourself with something tangible. Hold a crystal, light a candle, place your hand over your heart, but don't shut this experience out. There's an unmistakable energy tonight, a deep sense of finality in the air. It's the kind of feeling that makes you pause, makes you reflect, and maybe even leaves you a little uneasy. That's because tonight isn't just any full moon, it's a cosmic exclamation point. For many, it marks the end of an era, a chapter you've been living in for so long that you might not even realize it's time to let go. You can't step into your future if you're still clutching the past. Think about it. Have you been feeling a subtle, or maybe not so subtle, pull to change? To let go of things you've outgrown, relationships, routines, beliefs, even identities that no longer align with who you are becoming. That's the energy of this full moon portal. It's not asking, it's demanding that you shed the layers that no longer serve your highest self. This is the universe's way of creating balance. Just like the moon waxes and wanes, your life must go through cycles of growth and release. And while endings often feel like loss, they're really just making room for the new. Imagine this as a spiritual decluttering. The things, people, or habits that are falling away now, they were never meant to stay forever. But here's the thing about endings. They often come with clarity. Tonight, you might find yourself seeing situations for what they truly are. Maybe a truth you've been avoiding becomes undeniable. Maybe you feel a sense of closure about something that's haunted you for years. Trust this process. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Some portals break in without knocking. This one's already inside, and now it's too late to go back to sleep. The 22222 portal is already here. Today is May 21st, and yet the energy is unmistakable. This isn't your average alignment. This is a rogue vibration, something that slipped through when no one was looking. It's not behaving like the usual portals wrapped in rituals and cosmic predictions. And if you're wondering where the 22222 is in May 22nd, don't worry, I'll explain it in just a minute. It's hidden in plain sight, and once you see it, it's going to hit different. But here's what you need to know right now. Most people won't even realize this portal exists, and that's exactly why it's important. This portal wasn't made for the loud ones. This is a signal built for the silent ones, the ones who feel everything, say nothing, and move through the world like they don't belong, because they don't, not in that world. And if that's you, then you need to know what's coming. If you've suddenly started remembering dreams from years ago, ones you forgot even existed, stay with me. Because there's one specific reason that's happening right now. And when you find out why, it's going to change how you look at this entire week. I'll break it down later. Don't go anywhere. But first, you need to understand how this portal lands tomorrow. Because it wasn't supposed to. It's not on any spiritual calendar. Yet it showed up anyway. You didn't miss it. No astrologer planned it. And yet, it's here. The 22222 portal wasn't predicted because it wasn't meant to be. It's a back door, a quiet disruption in the pulse of spiritual alignment. But here's what nobody tells you. Not every activation needs to be planned. May 22nd, that's what we're moving into. But look deeper. May is the 4th month. Divide it by 2. You get 2 2s. Now stack that with the 22nd day. That gives you 2222. A mirrored master number that's been hiding in plain sight. And that's exactly what makes it different. This is a clean channel. It's raw access. Something unfiltered slipped through. And only the ones tuned in by frequency are picking it up. You weren't supposed to find this video, but now that you have, you're already inside the portal. And this portal is the proof. Let's be honest. Some people spend their whole lives pretending to fit. Faking normal, shrinking their weirdness to avoid the stares. But there's a reason you've never quite clicked into this world the way others seem to. You were never supposed to. The 22222 portal is the outsider's code. It doesn't follow astrological rules. It doesn't align with planetary schedules. It's a misfit, a number that shouldn't even make sense. And yet it's real, and it's showing up now. That's not an accident. That's a mirror. Just like this portal doesn't belong in the system, neither do you, and that's where the power is. This energy isn't for the ones who feel at home in the world. It's for the ones who've always looked around and wondered, what am I even doing here? The quiet rebels, the ones who never got the manual. Because this portal isn't a blessing for the many. It's a code red for the few. It's a direct signal to people who've been hiding in plain sight, convincing themselves they're broken or behind or lost. You're not. You're just from a different system, and the portal just turned it back on. There's no mistake in the misalignment. And if your whole life has felt like you're too early, too late, too much or not enough, this is your confirmation. You weren't meant to blend in. You were meant to feel this now. Because this isn't the first portal to show up like this, and it definitely won't be the last. In fact, the first one cracked everything open back in 2022. February 22nd, 2022, a portal date burned into spiritual history. People felt it before they even knew what it meant. Time moved strange. Synchronicities flooded timelines. Something shifted hard. And for a moment it felt like everyone was on the same frequency. But that portal, that was an opener, a mass calibration. It aligned the system, it cracked the lock, and then silence until now. 22222 is the echo that comes when no one's listening anymore. This isn't another wave to ride. It's the aftershock, the part that changes what you actually do with everything you started back then. Back in 2022, things began. But most people dropped the thread, got distracted, fell asleep again. And the ones who didn't, the ones who've been quietly watching, growing, breaking cycles, decoding symbols in dreams. This one's for you, where February 22nd cracked the surface. 2222 digs into the bones. This is the kind of energy that wakes up parts of you that didn't exist before. Memories from past lives, old codes hidden in your DNA, and questions you've never even dared to ask out loud. Because now that the echo is here, you're going to start hearing things you can't unhear. You're not waking up by accident, you're being pinged. For the past few nights, something strange has been happening. Some of you already know. You've been waking up in the middle of the night, not once, not twice, but at the exact same time, over and over again. The numbers aren't just numbers, they're signals, repeating sequences that seem random on the surface, but are loaded with vibrational weight. And guess what? It started before the portal even opened, because your body, your nervous system, picked up on this before your conscious mind ever had a chance to. This is the 2222 resonance in action. This portal isn't just energy, it's frequency. It pulses through time, waking certain people up like an internal alarm clock. And every time you wake up at that same mirrored hour, you're not just disturbed, you're being contacted. These aren't sleep disruptions, they're scheduled transmissions from the energetic field itself. Think of it like spiritual Morse code. You might feel completely drained when it happens, or weirdly charged. You might get up to go to the bathroom and suddenly feel like something's watching you, or like your dream didn't fully leave when you woke up, because you didn't just wake up, you were pulled up. The 2222 portal creates energetic ripple effects that echo inside your personal timeline. It's not just a global event, it's intimate. It chooses the individual, not the collective. And when it pings you like that, it's asking one question: are you awake yet? Because this portal doesn't move alone, it multiplies. And when it hits two frequencies at once, everything changes. This portal doesn't just move, it mirrors, it syncs, it activates in pairs. You might have already felt it today, that strange moment. A look from a stranger, a random message from someone you haven't spoken to in years, a weirdly timed conversation that left you buzzing afterward. It's not random, it's activation. If someone saw you today, really saw you, it wasn't just human. It was portal tech running through your interaction. This kind of portal doesn't open like a doorway, it opens like a circuit. And when the right two energies meet, even briefly, it completes the charge. You might feel it as a rush in your chest, a weird flutter in your stomach, or this uncanny sense that something just clicked into place. Some of you might experience this digitally, a DM that hits different. Others might get it from a passing glance at a grocery store where time felt like it paused. And for a few, it might be someone completely unexpected coming back around. But in every case, the feeling is the same, something just activated. And now, there's no going back. This isn't about soulmates, it's about frequencies finding themselves again. And in this portal, a portal made entirely of duality, the moment two vibrations align, they don't just meet, they remember. Remember when I told you that if you've been recalling old dreams lately, there was a deeper reason behind it? Well, this is it. The 22222 portal doesn't just open new pathways, it reactivates old ones. Lately, people have been reporting something strange. A childhood dream that suddenly came back, a vivid scene they once forgot, now flashing in perfect clarity. A symbol that didn't make sense before, but suddenly clicks. The portal doesn't just deliver new downloads, it decrypts the ones you weren't ready for until now. See, not all messages are meant for the moment they arrive. Some dreams were seeded years ago, in your sleep, in meditation, in visions you dismissed as nonsense. Why? Because you didn't have the code yet. Now the code has arrived, and it's 22222. You might have dreamt of doors, mirrors, trains, elevators, things moving, transporting, shifting. Maybe you saw people you didn't know, places that didn't exist. You felt something in them, a weird importance, and then forgot, until now. This portal is a reader. It scans the dream archives for patterns you never noticed. And if those old dreams are flooding in again, you're not losing it. You're finally syncing with the right signal. The 22222 frequency doesn't deliver dreams. It makes your old ones make sense. It's like opening a file you didn't know was encrypted, and suddenly your past feels alive. Because the past was never past. It was paused. And now that it's back, you'll never look at those memories the same again. The 22 isn't peaceful. It's precise. 22 looks simple, soft even. But it's not. It's not an invitation. It's a blueprint, a spiritual framework. The kind of number that doesn't ask, it assigns. Right now, this energy isn't just floating around. It's working on you, quietly, methodically. It's not trying to inspire you with big signs or dramatic moments. It's setting something in place, under the surface, inside your patterns, in the timing of things that feel too sharp to be random. This portal isn't here to shower you with abstract meaning or fluffy messages. It's a placement device. You may not realize it, but every second you've been drawn to certain thoughts, certain ideas, even certain rooms. Something is arranging you. This is calibration. You're not being pulled toward comfort. You're being positioned toward purpose. That's the thing about 22 energy. It doesn't care if you're emotionally ready. It doesn't wait until everything makes sense. It just moves, places, constructs. And if you've been feeling that subtle pressure, like something around you is building without your permission, that's exactly what's happening. It's not chaos, it's precision. It's not overwhelming, it's intentional. This portal's energy is intelligent. It's not giving you space to drift, to delay, or to spiral into indecision. It's locking pieces together before you even notice they fit. You might feel a sudden shift in your focus, a strange pull to rearrange the way you move through your days. Maybe even the sensation that time is getting tighter, more compact, like something wants to finalize a version of you before this phase ends. And that's because 22 doesn't wait. It doesn't warn. It just begins the building process, whether you're ready or not. The door doesn't close on May 22nd, it dissolves. This portal doesn't end with a bang. It fades, like fog slipping into your days, unnoticed. One moment, you're in it. The next, you've drifted into something else entirely. It won't announce its departure. You'll just feel the shift, subtle but irreversible. Conversations feel like echoes. Time gets strange. Reality bends quietly around you. From May 22nd onward, you're not stepping out. You're walking deeper in. The rules soften. The veil doesn't tear. It blends. You may even question what thoughts are yours and what's being whispered through you. This is the dissolve phase, the part where the portal embeds itself into your nervous system. You won't need to explain it because you'll feel it humming under your skin. And by May 26th, you won't go back to who you were. When a portal like this finishes its work, it doesn't leave, it just takes part of you with it. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content. But before we close, let's talk about what happens next. Not out there, but through you. Because once this portal moves through, you don't just return to normal life. You radiate. Some of you are about to play a crucial role in someone else's life. And the wild part, you won't even realize it until it's already happened. You might say something small, make a choice that feels normal. But to them, it's the moment everything changes. It won't always be dramatic. It won't always be obvious. Some will pull away. Others will feel drawn to you without knowing why. They're not reacting to you, they're reacting to the version of themselves you've just exposed. You've become the mirror, the one that shows a truth they didn't know they were ready to see. It's not about effort, it's about energy. You're radiating something different now, and people feel it, even if they can't explain it. You might feel magnetic or misunderstood. Strangers open up, people hover, some distance themselves. Don't chase, don't shrink. This moon turned you into a living transmission. Every aligned choice you make gives someone else permission to break free. And the wildest part, you may never know who you impacted. Because you're not here to witness the bloom, you're here to spark it. You are the moment that changes everything, disguised as something ordinary. You are the glitch in the simulation, the pause in the pattern, the seed in someone's dark soil, not knowing if they'll water it, but giving it anyway. This portal didn't just activate you, it entrusted you with a frequency, with a message, with a subtle power you won't always understand. And if you feel like your life has suddenly gone quiet, that's not emptiness. It's recalibration. You're not just watching the shift, you are the shift. You are the echo, the reminder, the resonance that walks past someone on a Tuesday afternoon and leaves their spirit vibrating. You might never see it happen, but it does. Every time you choose truth over comfort, every time you choose boundaries over burnout, every time you choose alignment over applause, someone else feels it. That's what this portal planted in you. That's why you've been waking up different. That's why you've been remembering things you forgot. That's why your silence has been so loud. Because you're not here to blend in. You're here to open the unseen, to light the way for someone who doesn't even know they're looking. Be prepared. The pink moon may look soft on the surface, but its energy is anything but subtle. This full moon is more than a vibe. It's a shift, a turning point. This isn't just another cute moon moment lighting up your feed. It's the pink full moon, and it's not your average moon. It's arriving between the night of May 12th and the early hours of the 13th, depending on where you live. This moon may look gentle, but behind the pastel glow and dreamy name, it's charged with a rare, high-frequency ripple. It's not just closing a cycle, it's opening a portal. And portals don't ask for permission. They just shift things, fast. But here's the thing most people don't realize. This moon grants wishes, but it may just come with a price. You need to be aware of what's about to take place, because there's something about this upcoming pink moon that no one's really talking about. You're about to play a crucial role in someone else's life, and you won't even realize it until it happens. There's one specific reason why this moon is positioning you as the catalyst. I'll reveal it later, so keep watching. But before we even get there, there's something way more urgent you need to know. Because this full moon, it's got rules, and if you're not aligned, the doors won't just close on you, they'll close because of you. This time, the universe isn't giving away free upgrades. Yes, it's powerful for manifesting, but there's more to it. This moon doesn't care what you're hoping for. It responds to what you've actually proven you can hold. It scans your emotional stability, your habits, your patterns, and only blesses what's solid, what's real, what's ready. So if you've been out of alignment, chasing instant wins or ignoring the work, you might feel blocked, drained, or like nothing's clicking. That's not bad luck. That's divine precision. The May pink moon doesn't reward the wishful, it rewards the ready. And if you've been wondering why certain things feel just out of reach lately, you're about to find out. It wasn't random. Because not everything holding you back is obvious. Sometimes it's disguised as praise. What feels like encouragement might actually be the very thing keeping you small. Not every compliment is meant for you. During this pink full moon portal, there's something subtle but dangerous sneaking around in plain sight. And it doesn't look like a threat. It sounds like validation. It looks like support. It feels like encouragement. But here's the twist. Some compliments aren't meant to uplift you. They're designed to keep you exactly where you are. This moon has a weird way of showing you the truth behind the words people say. Compliments that once made you feel warm might suddenly feel off. That's because under this moon, the veil thins, not just between worlds, but between intentions. You may notice certain praises feel more like cages than wings, like when someone applauds you for being so selfless, when deep down you've been completely drained. Or when you're told you're so calm, nothing bothers you, right after you've swallowed your truth for the 100th time. That's not a compliment, that's containment. Ego loves flattery, but the soul craves freedom. Now it's important to be clear, not all compliments are traps. Some are pure, heartfelt, and true. This isn't about becoming cynical, it's about becoming conscious. If the praise makes your soul sit up straighter and reminds you of who you really are, that's gold. But if it flatters your ego while asking you to shrink, it's a decoy. If a compliment requires you to stay small in order to be loved, walk away from it. And under this pink moon, that kind of energetic clarity is everything. Because the real you is starting to rise. And not everyone will celebrate that. Your body feels it before your mind understands it. The days leading up to this full moon portal are already humming with subtle, strange sensations. You might brush them off, but maybe you shouldn't. If you've been feeling sudden bursts of heat or cold in your hands, a strange metallic or sweet taste in your mouth, little muscle twitches that come and go randomly, or that bizarre flicker of, wait, I forgot something, only to realize you didn't. You're not broken, you're sinking. The moon doesn't just pull on oceans, it pulls on you, especially your nervous system. The pink moon is not here yet, but it's already acting like a giant amplifier. If you're energetically sensitive, you'll feel the pressure before it lands. These weird physical sensations, they're echoes of a frequency shift. Think of them as little spiritual earthquakes, micro shakes before the tectonic shift. And here's the good part. Alongside the symptoms, many are reporting something unexpected. A sudden wave of motivation, an almost impulsive need to start, to fix, to change. It's like a piece of your future is pulling you toward it, and your body's racing to catch up. So if you've been randomly inspired to clear your space, text that one person, or finally dive into a long-avoided dream, don't ignore it. That's your soul preparing for what's about to be activated. Because when this moon peaks, the people who moved when they felt it are the ones who will receive what they're ready for. Classical Newtonian physics treats time as flat, uniform, inexorable. Yet Einstein's relativity twists that assumption, revealing time as pliable, woven with space itself. Quantum physicists push further, exploring non-linear timelines where future potentials can retro-influence present outcomes. Think delayed choice experiments. Why mention this? Because when people report that time feels faster, they may not be merely poetic. Circadian biologists confirm that exposure to unusual light patterns, say the kaleidoscopic glow of an eclipse, can temporarily reset hormonal clocks, shortening or lengthening subjective time. Meanwhile, cultural anthropologists note that societies in flux often perceive accelerated history. Revolutions pack centuries of change into decades. Pandemics compress generational shifts into months. So when the cosmic calendar condenses 3 major events into a single fortnight, your body-mind may register it as temporal vertigo, days blurring, insights arriving in clusters. Recognize the sensation not as dysfunction, but as adaptation. You are synchronizing to a higher BPM, beats per minute, of reality's song. When we picture ancient stargazers, we often imagine lone mystics crouched over parchment. In truth, many early cultures operated what modern historians call night schools, full-fledged academies that convened only after sunset. The Babylonian Tupshar Enuma Anu Enlil, literally scribes of the great celestial omen series, spent centuries cataloging every lunar glint and planet retrograde. Their tablets reveal a mindset radically different from ours. They did not view the heavens as decor, but as an encrypted script continually commenting on droughts, trade, fertility, and even the temperament of kings. Across the ocean, Polynesian wayfinders mastered star houses, stitching entire canoe routes across the Pacific by memorizing how specific constellations rose and fell relative to ocean swells. For them, astronomy was not contemplation but navigation, a life-or-death GPS carved into memory through chanting. Why resurrect these stories now? Because the rare alignment approaching us is a shared syllabus, an echo of the same universal curriculum those night schools taught. The difference is that our modern campus is noisy, fluorescent, saturated with algorithmic urgencies. We therefore need new strategies to decipher cosmic lectures before the signal is lost amid notification pings. Data analysts at planetariums like Adler in Chicago or Paris's Observatoire de la Cité keep extensive databases of past alignments. Feed the parameters of May 14th, total lunar eclipse plus major meteor peak plus blood moon coloration, into their software, and the result is startling. Clusters like this recur on average once every 184 to 220 years. The last comparable triad unfolded in 1807, silently witnessed by early industrial villagers who lacked electricity but possessed sharper night vision than most of us ever will. Every 2 centuries or so, therefore, humankind receives a bundled notification, call it a cosmic software update. And history shows that within 1 generation of each bundle, society hits fast forward. For example, the 1807 triad preceded the invention of the steam locomotive, 1808, the abolition of the British slave trade, 1807, and the first commercial gas lighting, 1809. None of those breakthroughs were caused by the eclipse, of course, yet the rhythm is hard to dismiss. Sky trembles, Earth innovates. So, if your intuition insists world-shaping ideas are about to surface, statistical precedent backs you up. Whether you intend to launch a startup, craft a manifesto, or simply redesign your daily routine, you're tapping into an epical current that often lifts small vessels faster than any individual oarstroke could. Meteor showers are cousins to comets, and comets sometimes outshine planets. But nothing rewires collective perception quite like a supernova, a star exploding with the luminosity of billions of suns. Ancient Chinese court astronomers recorded a guest star in 1054 CE that remained visible in daylight for weeks. The luminous ghost of that detonation still haunts telescopes as the Crab Nebula. Why mention supernovae when we're anticipating a lunar eclipse? Because both events trigger a phenomenon psychologists label awe saturation, an altered cognitive state marked by diminished ego boundaries, heightened curiosity, and greater acceptance of uncertainty. In neurological terms, awe activates the default mode network, then briefly suppresses it, creating space for new associations. Practical takeaway? Schedule brainstorming sessions, conflict resolution talks, or personal vision mapping within 48 hours before or after May 14th. Research from UC Berkeley suggests that people who experience awe, whether through nature, art, or cosmic spectacle, show measurably higher levels of pro-social behavior and big-picture thinking for up to 2 weeks. Harness the afterglow. Western progress narratives favor the arrow, a linear May from primitive past to enlightened future. In contrast, Hindu cosmology describes yugas, vast repeating ages of creation, decay, destruction, and renewal. The upcoming triad invites us to reconcile these views. Perhaps time is a spiral, simultaneously cyclic and progressive, revisiting familiar coordinates while ascending to new altitudes. Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Whatever happens has always happened before, and always will again." Yet he paired that fatalism with a call to virtuous agency. Similarly, you can regard the May events not as fate carved in granite, but as a recurring invitation, one that upward spirals you if you engage it consciously. Doing so merges Stoic composure with Upanishadic renewal, forging a personal philosophy resilient to both triumph and turbulence. Lightning detonates around the globe roughly 8 million times a day, charging Earth's ionosphere with standing electromagnetic waves known as Schumann resonances, 783 Hz, and harmonics. Intriguingly, human alpha brainwaves idle in the same frequency range. During geomagnetic disturbances, e.g. intense solar winds linked to certain alignments, Schumann amplitudes spike, nudging our neural rhythms. What will the forthcoming eclipse and meteor shower do to global resonance? Satellites cannot yet answer, but anecdotal evidence abounds. Heightened dream vividness, collective mood swings, bursts of creative inspiration. If you have access to a portable EEG headband or HRV, heart rate variability monitor, run a 3-day experiment, baseline your readings, May 8th, compare on May 14th, then log again, May 20th. Even if metrics stay flat, the discipline of observation itself fine-tunes perception, much like a night school scribe chiseling cuneiform crescents to sharpen celestial insight. Different esoteric systems chart human energy in different numbers, yet they converge on one premise: we are microplanets orbiting an inner sun of consciousness. In the yogic tradition, chakras are viewed as wheel-like vortices along the spine, each harmonizing bodily organs with psychological archetypes. In Kabbalah, the Sephirot are understood as emanations on the tree of life, mapping God's creative flow into 10 spheres, from the limitless crown, Kheta, down to the grounded kingdom, Malkuth. Traditional Chinese medicine maps energy through 12 meridians, cycling qi through organ pairs and synchronizing with circadian tides. On May 14th, consider a multi-tradition meditation. As the moon enters shadow, visualize the root chakra, or Malkuth, or kidney meridian, cleansing ancestral fear. As the red light rises, inhale into the heart center, or Tiferet or pericardium meridian, infusing compassion. And when meteors streak across the sky, imagine the crown, or Kheta or governing vessel, absorbing the stardust of possibility. Even if the symbols differ by tradition, the felt reality is universal, a vertical axis aligning earth, heart, and sky inside your own body. Historians Howe and Strauss argue that Anglo-American cultures cycle through 4 generational archetypes roughly every 80 to 90 years, culminating in what they call a fourth turning, a crisis phase of institutional reset. The last fourth turning encompassed the Great Depression and World War II. The next, according to their timeline, is peaking now in the mid-2020s. As we witness leaps in artificial intelligence, climate tipping points, and geopolitical tremors, the cosmic triad unfolding can be seen as a celestial exclamation mark punctuating an already volatile chapter in human history. Volatility, however, is a double-edged blade. The same energy that topples ossified systems can also fuel renaissance. As a practical step, identify one fragile institution in your sphere, maybe an outdated workplace protocol, a stale family tradition, or a local governance flaw. Brainstorm how to transform or replace it before external crises do it for you. In doing so, you don't just endure the fourth turning wave, you learn to surf it. When it comes to personal alignment, here are a few strategic approaches you can consider. Start with the 3-lens audit. Look at your life through 3 perspectives: the survival lens, finances, health, safety; the meaning lens, creativity, relationships, beliefs; and the legacy lens, contributions that outlive you. Rate each on a scale of 1 to 10 before the alignment. Then, set micro-goals to raise your lowest score by just 1 point within the next 30 days. Try a 90-minute lunar sprint. During the eclipse peak, mute all devices for 90 minutes. Write down every intuitive nudge without editing or judgment. After the eclipse, categorize these notes into quick actions, strategic projects, and wild seeds. Then, commit to completing one quick action within 24 hours to anchor the insight into material reality. Consider a meteor mentorship pact. Reach out to someone who intimidates you, not in fear, but in inspiration, and request a 30-minute virtual coffee chat before the month ends. Frame it as catching a meteor while it's still burning. The timing makes a yes more likely, and the rarity adds momentum. We've seen how celestial alignments can act as powerful catalysts in human lives. Take Edmund Halley, for example. Mesmerized by the 1682 comet that later bore his name, he risked his reputation to urge Isaac Newton to publish Principia Mathematica. Without that cosmic prod, gravity theory might have languished for decades. Maya Angelou began writing "I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings" just days after the iconic 1968 Earthrise photo taken on Christmas Eve, an image widely credited with sparking the modern environmental movement. Angelou described her motivation as planetary kinship, a push to bear her story for collective healing. Even Elon Musk was influenced by a cosmic cue. After witnessing the 2002 Leonid meteor burst, he publicly vowed to make humanity multiplanetary. The dream sounded quixotic then, but it seeded what would become SpaceX. While correlation isn't causation, sometimes correlation inspires causation. A sky shock cracks the crust of complacency, allowing molten resolve to erupt. Finally, alignments like these invite us to decelerate consumption while accelerating comprehension. One practical way to do that is to commit to finishing one seminal text, something foundational and deep, between now and the next new moon. Whether it's Octavia Butler's Parable of the Sower, Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, or Robin Wall Kimmerer's Braiding Sweetgrass, slow words metabolize into deep neural grooves, preparing you for rapid external change. Imagine yourself inside a desert observatory at 3 a.m. The eclipse has passed, meteors still flicker like surprise confetti. You step outside, the air feels rinsed, gravity lighter, as though every cell has been recalibrated. That sensation is not merely poetic, it is neurally encoded memory plus subtle hormonal shift. Bottle it, revisit it in meditation, let it mentor your actions when ordinary daylight tries to lull you back to sleepwalking. Because the cosmic curriculum doesn't grade on a curve, it evaluates through outcomes. Where you stand, whom you serve, what you create, long after the sky reverts to tranquil anonymity. Long before midnight could ink its signature across May 22nd, the city was already breathing in a new tempo. In a shuttered planetarium, an aging stargazer, renowned for ignoring rule books, silenced every exit sign and tilted a circular mirror into the apex of the dome. Constellations flared to life, projected not only overhead but beneath the seats as well, so visitors found themselves floating in a double cosmos. Some left in wonder, a few stepped outside with faces drained of color, as if the sight of a sky mirroring itself had unsettled something older than thought. Word of the mirror spread in whispers. It was said that if you sat under its gaze long enough, you could watch your birth sign wander into places no astrology chart had plotted. Management protested the breach of safety codes, but the astronomer merely bowed, promised compliance, then reopened the exhibition after curfew by private invitation. Strange how the quiet hours make space for phenomena the daylight refuses. Hundreds of miles north, where green curtains of light sway nightly across a silent fishing coast, a former telecommunications engineer tinkered with salvaged copper coils in an attic. She spent evenings eavesdropping on the ionosphere, collecting radio hush the way others collect stamps. In mid-May, her receiver screamed, an audio glyph, looped and layered, that sounded too measured to be static. When slowed, it sculpted 4 arches nested like a sigil, twin twos facing their mirror. Night after night, the pattern repeated at precisely 2:22 in the morning, matching each swell of polar light outside her window. Curious, she posted the recording online. Replies ranged from prank accusations to arcane references. One user linked her arches to Sumerian carvings said to mark gatekeeper chords. Another insisted she'd captured the soul of the solar wind. An email soon reached that attic from the planetarium's mirror keeper, though the two had never met. Their data aligned as if drafted by the same invisible hand. A collaboration sparked across cables and longitude, mapping radio arches onto mirrored constellations. Geometry became dialect. History warns that the heavens can rearrange human affairs. A comet in the 14th century preceded plague. A volcanic veil in the 19th turned summers cold and provoked literary monsters. In the present, people fear lost Wi-Fi more than brimstone, yet atmospheric drama has merely traded mineral dust for data dust. Numerical symmetries drift across screens, and something inside the mammal brain salutes. Thus, when every billboard clock blinks 22:22 on the 22nd day of the 4th month, that moment is more than arithmetic. It is atmospheric pressure on the psyche. Philosophers once argued that lived time flows differently from measured time, that clocks carve rivers into boxes. But mirrored digits bend both flows together, stopping nerves long enough for perception to slip behind the curtain of ordinary chronology. The body floods reward chemicals because it senses a puzzle solved, if only for 60 elastic seconds. In a dim apartment crowded by cardboard relics, an archivist jolted awake a week before the portal's crest, lured by the phantom scent of her grandmother's herbal chest rub. Her laptop, definitely powered down, glowed with an untitled folder. Inside lay a telegram from 1926 demanding arrival on Platform 22, Track 2, at 10 o'clock that night. The date carried the same mirrored digits now whispering through May's calendar. The archivist phoned her sibling, who confessed recurring dreams of train stations numbered only in twos. Neither could call it coincidence. They felt the past negotiating for entry. Far from both planetarium and fishing coast, a young theoretician spent sleepless nights feeding astrophysical data through fractal software. The output stubbornly twisted into a figure 8, two donuts swallowing each other over and over. Reviewers called it a glitch of aesthetics, but the mathematicians sensed intent. The unknown pattern matched the auroral arches point for point. Within an hour of comparing notes with the mirror keeper, she typed a single line into a private journal. The universe doodles before it speaks. Sunset on May 21st bruised the sky copper and violet. City grids hiccuped, lights dimmed, then steadied. Radios stammered, bird songs veered off key, and in bedrooms across time zones, insomniacs felt a humming in their teeth. Far below human feet, seismic monitors detected a pulse almost too faint to record, yet somehow synchronized across every continent, a soft drum roll for the thing about to arrive. Then the hush, wider than any silence that had come before, settled across rooftops and valleys. It felt like the theater curtain trembling in that instant before it lifts. Strangers paused mid-stride, lovers broke kisses. A dish in a sink stopped vibrating. Nothing visible changed, yet the air tingled with potential. At 22 minutes past 10, on the night of May 22nd, clocks everywhere hesitated. Not a full second, just the tiniest addition. A slip of time that high-precision chronometers would notice, though official timekeepers would declare everything normal. That hiccup was enough. Inside the mirror dome, every constellation kissed its own reflection. In the attic by the sea, copper coils thrummed cello chords. On countless streets, people glanced up from devices, convinced they had been called by name. A few whispered words they did not understand until they heard their echo in someone else's mouth an hour later. Quiet replaced thunder, but it was a quiet packed so full of recognition that tears came without melancholy. The next sunrise looked ordinary until one noticed the seams. Traffic lights cycled in odd rhythms. Web pages reverted to previous versions as though time had burped. Commuters swore their train journeys replayed like vinyl skipping. Unexplained déjà vu became the week's default weather. By the second day after the portal's peak, most of the auditory static had faded, replaced by a deep calm. It felt as though the world had shed a heavy coat during sleep. Arguments fizzled before gaining speed. Long-standing headaches evaporated. Some woke lighter, unsure what exactly had been removed. On the third day, past and future traded masks, the archivist found herself outlining speculative projects she once considered far-fetched. The theoretical physicist slept dreamlessly for the first time in years. Mirror images lost their eeriness and settled into everyday wonder, like a new organ finding its rhythm. Morning of the fourth day arrived crystal clear, air tasted ion-washed. Inbox clutter seemed less tyrannical, self-loathing felt passé. Life itself had not become perfect, but context had shifted by a degree that made new trajectories possible. Something had gone, and its absence felt like space for growth. No decree announced what had changed. Stock tickers still scrolled, school bells still rang, but quietly, individual choices pivoted. Venture proposals favored regenerative ventures over extraction. Singers adopted melodies reminiscent of a four-note rise and fall motif first heard under the naked dish. Diaries filled with accounts of long-avoided conversations that suddenly felt safe. The planetarium mirror remained, now sanctioned for late-night sessions by a dean who finally admitted curiosity. Copper coils traveled by courier to a research lab, tagged Instrument for Symmetry Studies. The genealogical telegram became a tapestry hanging in that mirror-lit dome, commemorating a train that may never have arrived yet somehow reached its destination. No one claimed the portal had closed. People spoke of diffusion, of dye swirling until it vanished into the ocean's endless folds. Perhaps that was always the intention, not a doorway to cross, but a solvent meant to thin the crust around perception, leaving behind a pliable reality ready to be shaped by quieter, braver hands.